So hey guys, welcome back to the React, Redux, Node.Js, Elasticsearch tutorial. So this is part 2 and we are going to discuss about Node.js, what Node.js is, what NPM is, what Express framework is, because Node.js is going to be a backend server throughout the application. So we're wondering why I'm wearing so many clothes. It's pretty cold here, it's around 2 degrees Celsius right now here. It feels like -1. So what is Node? Node is a JavaScript runtime built on Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine. So it basically gives you an environment to run your JavaScript code on your machine, as previously JavaScript code was confined only to your browser. So you can build your web server up and running, which is written completely in JavaScript code. So it's a big plus point for the front-end developers, because they are no longer confined to just the front-end part. They can code in the back-end. They have control of the entire application. So when it say Node helps you write code in the back-end in JavaScript, in your machine in JavaScript, it helps you create a web server. Let's see a practical example. So here I am in my folder structure. So I basically cloned my folder. All I'm having right now is a readme. So we'll be using something known as NVM, that is Node Version Manager. So it basically shows you all the versions of Node that is installed in your machine. So if you see the Node version present in my machine is version 4.4.7. Coming to how do we install Node. So if you go to the Node website, you can pretty much install Node from there. It's a very simple procedure. Or you can follow the DigitalOcean guide, which I've shared the link in the README. So it's a guide to how to install Node.js on Ubuntu server. So I have my version. Now let's say, so the beauty of Node is that you can have multiple versions of Node installed in your machine, and you can use your NVM to select a particular version. So like right now, as I have just one particular version, I'll say NVM use version 4.4.7, and if I check Node version, Node-v, it tells me that yes, Node version 4.4.7 is in use. So now you can go to your Node console. This opens up a Node console. So var a is equal to 2, print a. So pretty much works like a browser. If I go to the browser, this is the console, var a is equal to 2, a, pretty simple. So now let's exit this process. So process dot exit, or we could have typed Control-C twice. So let's create a JavaScript file here. So touch server.js. Let's go to our editor, Sublime Text. So server.js. So how do we execute a JavaScript file on a machine using Node? Just type console.log, simple statement. Hey from hackavan, save it, get back here, Node server.js, hey from hackavan. Cool. So this was simple execution of your JavaScript code using Node. Now let's see how quickly can we install a server, a backend server, web server using Node. So to do that, let's again use server.js itself, delete it. So when you install Node, by default you have a package named HTTP, a module which is installed along with it. So say we'll import that particular module, HTTP variable name is equal to require. So require is a keyword in Node whenever you have to import a module, HTTP. So var server is equal to HTTP dot create server. Pretty good till now. Let's define a function which will be handling our request and response. So request req response. So you have your server. Now the server should listen on a port. So server.listen. By default, Node application listen on port 3000, but you can use any empty port. So let's print a statement on our console. Console.leo. Hey, someone is here. Then let's return a response as well. Response.write. Hi, hackervan. And let's end the response. Cool. So I think this should pretty much work. And in less than 30 seconds, you have your backend server up and running. So you go back to your browser, you go here, and you open up localhost 3000. Oh, we didn't start the server. So, node server.js. So you see the process is still running because it's continuously, it will keep on listening to your requests and replying. So now we refresh the page. Hi, hackervan. If you go to your console, hey, someone is here, because that's what we're printing in the console. So your backend server is up and is ready to run. That's how easy it is to run your backend server using Node. So with this done, let's cut it out. Let's get back to our remaining GitHub README. So what we figured out is what is Node, how we can run our JavaScript code on our machine using Node, and how we can start a simple server using Node. Now let's get to NPM. What is this NPM? So it's a link. So NPM is basically a Node package manager for Node applications. So it helps you manage your modules, your packages for Node, similar to what pip does for Python. So it has got a list of instructions, which is pretty simple. But before we get into how to use NPM, there's one file which we need to talk about, that is package.json file. So package.json file is basically a setting file or a config file for your Node application. So it maintains all the dependencies for your application. So a list of all the dependencies along with their version number. So let's go ahead and let's start from scratch. So clear it up. So the command to create your Node project from scratch is npm init. Press enter, and this will take you through a few steps, like name of your application, let it be React, the version let it be 1.0.0, description, a YouTube tutorial for React, Redux, Node and elasticsearch, entry point let it be server.js, test command, enter, git repository, I can give the link of this repository, keywords empty, author is Ayush, license. So this is your package.json file that I was talking about. So I'm pretty much okay with it. Yes. Now if I get back to my Sublime text, you see a file named package.json is created. So in this file, there will be a new key added in this JSON, that will be dependencies. That will create a list of all your dependencies required. So like maybe your Webpack version, your Express version, and everything else, React DOM, that you need for your Node application. So how? Let's get into the installation of a package. Again, clear. So say npm install Webpack. So what is Webpack? Webpack is like a module bundler for your application. We'll get into details of Webpack later. So right now we want to see how to install packages using npm. --save. Why --save? Because if you don't write --save, it won't save the keys, the package in your package.json file. Enter. So it will take some time, but it will install the Webpack package in your Node module. So it's already done. If we get back to our Sublime text, you see there's a dependencies key created which says a package named Webpack the version being 1.14. And if you see, there's a folder named node modules created over here, which contains a subfolder webpack. So this webpack, this is where your entire package is downloaded and saved. Now, what are the other advantages of package.json file? Say I want to give my application to any one of you, or I want to deploy my application in a development environment after I have thoroughly tested it. So it's generally, we don't upload the node modules in our Git. We leave the node modules empty, but we have a list of all the packages and their versions present in the package.json file. So all a person needs to do is run the command npm install, and by default all the packages that is mentioned in the package.json file will be installed and your application will be ready to use. Let's test it out. So say we remove this node modules that we just got created. So we have removed that file, but our package.json contains the webpack package. So we go npm install, enter, and you just wait for the package to be installed. And once it is done, you'll see the node modules folder is again created with your webpack folder. Beauty. Things made very simple. So that is all about your node package manager, your node version manager. So we talked about the init command, the install command, cool. So now let's come to what is Express. So Express is a framework that comes with Node, which makes web application development pretty simple. So it takes care of handling your HTTP requests, it takes care of your routing. So all you need to do is install Express over Node and you're ready to go. So how to install Express? Here again, the same command npm install express -- save, enter. So once this is done, your Express folder will be created in your node modules and you'll be ready to use Express. So you see an Express folder is created over here. So we'll get into details of how to use Express, creating our project structure for Node backend server, and then we'll move towards our React tutorial. But in this tutorial of part 2, we basically covered what Node is, what NPM is, what NVM is, what Express is, and why do we need it. All cool. See you in a few. Bye bye.